Welcome to r/slash Entitled Parents, where an entitled kid throws a birthday cake into another child's face. Our next Reddit post is from Holden Position. And you might remember that name because I read a story from this guy a couple of weeks ago where basically his parents stole his birthday from him because his little brother always insisted that the party should be about him, and as a result, he never had a birthday party growing up. Well, this post is a similar story about how awful his parents are. For those who read my previous post about how my parents tried to cancel my 14th birthday, they knew very well what my brother was like during birthday parties that weren't his own. And how my parents tried to enable my brother's behavior any way they could just because he's a high-functioning autistic. Well, that rampant spoiling did not go well with people outside the family, like at all. This happened when my brother was around 6 to 7 years old, I think. A neighbor boy down the street was having his birthday party, and my brother got invited because they were sort of friends. My parents dragged me along to this party, even though I would have rathered stay home and play video games. I was bored and just sitting around the entire time, so I got to witness pretty much the entire situation. It started when my brother started picking up gifts off the table and shaking them. The mother of the birthday boy told him to stop, and my parents tried to defend my brother and say that he was harmless. The lady knew what my brother was really like, and he had my parents move him away from the presents. The kid started playing some game, I don't remember what, but I do remember my brother tried to be the center of attention as much as possible. With each game, the birthday boy got the first pick or the first turn on all of them because it was his birthday. However, my brother freaked out because he didn't get to be the first pick. My parents actually asked the birthday boy's mother if my brother could get the first pick or have first turn. The lady not only refused, but told my parents to get my brother under control or we would all be asked to leave. Then came time for the cake. The mother lit the candles for the birthday boy, and the adults started singing the happy birthday song. They only got as far as singing the birthday boy's name in the song before my brother burst into a tantrum at the table. He grabbed the side of the table and started trying to violently shake it. My parents had to hold my brother back for a moment. At this point, my mother went up to talk to the mother of the birthday boy again about something, and this poor lady looked positively disgusted. I learned later that my mother asked the mother of the birthday boy if she would let my brother blow out the candles on the birthday cake first and then they could redo it with the birthday boy. The lady told my mother that it would be best if we left, and then they went back to trying to redo the birthday song. Well, my brother couldn't take it and ran to the table and shoved the whole cake right at the birthday boy. I mean, he used his arm to literally clothesline the cake and heave it right into that poor kid's face. The whole room was silent for a few seconds. Then the birthday boy started crying, and all the adults were mortified, except for my parents. My mother started hugging my brother tightly and acted like a Karen by saying this could have been prevented if they had just let my brother blow out the candles first. The mother of the birthday boy was cleaning up chocolate cake off her son and screamed at my parents to get out. The other kids there started crying because it finally hit them that there was no cake. My mother started dragging my brother out, but he broke free of her and then pushed over the table with all the presents on it. I grabbed him and held him in a headlock until my parents grabbed him. I apologized profusely to the mother of the birthday boy, and I said that I wasn't on my parents' side on this matter. Yeah, that's right. Little 12-year-old me had to apologize for my own parents. My dad yelled at me to get moving or I would walk home, and I said that I would walk home. It was literally a quarter of a mile down the street. I stayed and helped clean up the mess that my brother made. The lady thanked me and said that I was a good egg, but my brother was just rotten. Someone went out to get another cake while the birthday boy had to take a shower because he was covered in cake. All the mess was cleaned up and they redid the birthday song. After the party was over, the mother of the birthday boy wrote something on a piece of paper. It was a handwritten invoice to my parents for the destroyed cake, along with a written threat to call the police because someone with a camera had caught everything go down. I handed the invoice to my parents, and they really didn't look happy when they read it. They gave me the cash and told me to take it back to the lady, so I did. and that was pretty much it. Neither that kid or his family ever associated with my brother or his parents ever again. But the messed up thing is that at another birthday party months later, the exact same situation nearly repeated entirely. My mother asked the parents to let my brother blow out the candles first and gave some BS excuse as to why. They outright refused, and my mother acted like a total Karen. My brother tried to knock down the cake, but this time I was on guard and I intercepted him. We were told to leave, and from this point on, my brother was no longer invited to birthday parties that weren't relatives. And, of course, on my next birthday party that same year when I turned 13, my parents tried to get me to let my brother blow out the candles first. Man, so I get that your brother has trouble understanding that the party's not there for him. Like, I get that, yeah. But what bothers me is the parents trying to come to someone else's party and steal a birthday party from some other child. Like, doesn't that kid deserve his own birthday party? It's so entitled. Honestly, OP, I'm surprised that your parents didn't also ask if they could take one or two of the birthday boy's gifts. Our next Reddit post is from Deleted. So, I'm a surfing instructor mainly during holidays, and I surf in my free time too. The surf school is based in this little surf shack on the beach. So, I wasn't working today at the surf school, but since I do have the next 2 days off, me and my boyfriend plan to go to the beach, do some surfing, and then go camping. Because it was hot out, I opted to wear my wetsuit on my lower half, folded below my waist so it was only covering my legs and butt, and then my bikini top. Some of my coworkers at the school saw me and waved me over, so my boyfriend went ahead while I went to speak with them at the shack. There were only 2 of them in there, and the 3 of us started talking. I kept my surfboard under my arm while I said hi and did some catching up. We talked for a bit, until we were interrupted. An entitled father walked up and said, "If you're not too busy, we're here for a lesson." My friends and I immediately stopped talking, and I looked at them as if to say, "Sorry guys, you're on your own." The entitled dad was somewhere in his 40s with a dad bod and a serious sunburn. The entitled dad had his son with him, who was about 13 or 14 years old, wearing bright green shorts and seemed very embarrassed at his dad's actions. My coworker said, "I'm sorry, sir, can we have your and your son's name, please?" The entitled father, while staring at my boobs, says, "Our names are such and such, and she's not teaching, is she?" I said, "I'm not on duty." The entitled father, while still staring at my boobs, said, "I didn't ask you. I asked these young men." My coworker says, "OP works here, but isn't on duty today." Good. I said, "I'm sorry. Is there a problem?" "I just don't want anything distracting my son. He wants to do well here. He needs to focus." I assure you, I'm nothing but professional, but my coworkers here are the instructors for his first lesson. They tend to stick with their class until the end of their course. My coworker says, "Is there anything else we can help you with before the session begins?" Then the young boy mutters something to his father. "Yes, my son wants a surfboard like hers. He hates orange. He likes green." I said, "I'm sorry, sir, but this is my personal board that I brought from home. It's a Paizo Gremlin, and you're welcome to purchase one of your own, but it's probably best that your son learns to surf before you spend 600 pounds on a surfboard." 600 pounds? I'm not paying that. You said that you work here. You have to help us. Just give my son your surfboard, even if it's just for the session. My surfboard isn't set up for him, it's set up for me, and it probably wouldn't fit him anyways. Just let him use it. He doesn't like the other ones. I gave up after this, and wanting to get away from this entitled father, bid goodbye to my coworkers and went to the shore. I joined my boyfriend in the water. About 20 minutes go by, and I see the new surfing class, including my 2 coworkers, the entitled kid, and about a dozen other students all head into the water. As classes go, this is pretty big. We try to have 1 tutor for every 5 students, so they've barely got enough staff as it is. The first thing the entitled son does is go really far out, pretty close to where me and my boyfriend are. This is a very bad idea. He's on a beginner's course, while we've been surfing for years. I look over at the 2 coworkers who are occupied with other students. I say, "Hey, kid, you might want to go a little closer to shore. This is a bit far out for your first time. There's a wave coming, so lie flat and hang onto your board. It'll take you closer to shore. Don't stand up or you'll just fall off." Like father, like son, this kid is just staring at my boobs. I'm fine. Hey, watch this. The entitled kid tries to stand up, less than 5 minutes after he got on a surfboard for the first time. Since he has no idea what he's doing, he stands up on shaky legs and the wave immediately knocks him off. The entitled kid bursts back out of the water and clambers back onto his orange board, which takes him a few attempts because he keeps grabbing it incorrectly so it turns over and hits him, rather than giving him a stable surface to climb back onto. The entitled kid gets back on the board and appears to just sort of give up, kicking his way back to shore less than 5 minutes after he got in the ocean. On the beach, I see his father pissed off, gesturing for his son to get back up, but his son is not having it. I don't want to do it. It's too hard. Eventually, the entitled kid gets back to the beach and begins a shouting match with the entitled dad. I'm too far out to hear anything, but I can see them both gesturing wildly, and I notice them both pointing at me. Uh-oh. I see one of my coworkers head towards the shore, meaning my other coworker has been left with about 13 kids to supervise. That coworker gets closer to me, staying in the water and near the students, but close enough to talk to the entitled father and his son. According to that coworker who told me about it later, this is what happened. I told you to not get distracted. She distracted me. I knew it. I knew that she would be a problem. Is there an issue here? That girl distracted my son. I demand my money back. OP is an instructor here. I assure you that if she said anything to your son, it was helpful advice. At this point, I arrived in the shallows holding my surfboard under my arm. Is there a problem? You distracted my son. You're the reason why he fell. I saw that your son was too far out for a beginner who had only been practicing for 5 minutes, so I told him to go back. I told him to lie flat and use the wave to get back, and I told him not to stand up. You distracted him. This is your fault. My coworker said, look, clearly there's been a crossed wire here. Clearly, we demand our money back. I said, sir, with all due respect, I did nothing to distract your son. I gave him some advice because he had clearly gone way too far out. That's it. BS. If you had just put your tits away, he would have been fine out there, but you distracted him. So, you're saying that my appearance was the reason why your son fell off his board, not the fact that he went too far out after being advised against it, and then tried to stand up after being told to lie down? I was the problem here? We demand our money back! My coworker said, sir, there are children nearby. If you lower your voice, we can offer you a free session, but this really wasn't OP's fault. Not good enough. What do you want, son? The entitled kid was just sort of looking at the ground, his whole face bright red. I almost felt bad for the kid, until he said this. The board? You heard him. Hand it over. He starts snapping his fingers, like him clicking will make me give it to him. Okay, that'll be 600 pounds. This is all your fault. We're not paying for that. Then, no, this surfboard is mine, and it's designed for people who are at an intermediate to advanced level, not a newbie. Not only would this board not fit him, but the fin setup would just lead to him falling off again. Plus, I didn't actually do anything wrong here. We're the customer, and the customer is always right. It's all your fault anyway, so give us the damn board. At this point, my boyfriend showed up. Babe, are you ready to go? Yeah, let's get out of here. We walk away, leaving an angry entitled father behind us and an entitled kid looking equal parts indignant and regretful. My coworker later texted me and said that after they realized they weren't getting the board, they took a free session voucher, but not before asking for the manager's contact info, which my coworker gave them after telling the manager what happened. Man, when people tell women to put their tits away, it's always such like a funny image in my head because I just imagine some woman being like, oh, sorry about that. Let me just pop my boobs off here and stick them in my pockets. There, I put them away, sir. Is that better? Like, put them away? What do you want? What is she supposed to do? Where are they going to go? OP was swimming at the beach. Is she supposed to wear like a winter coat out into the water to surf? On this next post, OP is a woman who's married to a Marine and she's trying to sell something online, and she gets this message. Hey girls, so we realized your husband is an army, so we can't purchase the baby items.
No offense, it's just disrespectful to my husband. We don't mix branches.
Okay. I'm not sure how to respond to that. We don't mix branches? To be clear, I'm a dependent, not military. This is my post. And what does my husband's job have to do with baby items? Not to be rude, but that's ridiculously childish and sounds like entitlement. But thank you for letting me know, and have a good night.
The Army has standards, and as an Army wife, I have to withhold that expectation. This is an Army base, Marine. You guys are on our turf, sweetie.
I'm not replying with what I'm thinking because just wow. Again, have a good night. Goodbye. Man, I don't know anything about Army wives. I've never met one in real life, so I can't really judge them. I don't want to lump them all into a group so much, but every single time I hear stories on Reddit about Army wives, they sound so toxic and self-absorbed and obsessed with their husband's rank. It's what is it? Why are they like that? I don't get it. That was r/Entitledparents, and if you like this content, check out my podcast where I publish the exact same episodes. Also, hit that subscribe button because I put out new Reddit videos every single day.